Have you ever noticed how some days, just getting out of a chair feels like a workout? Or maybe you've caught yourself hesitating at the top of the stairs, wondering if your knees will cooperate this time. You're not alone. As we age, those little things we used to do without a second thought start to demand more effort, more balance, more strength, more focus. But here's the good news. Staying independent and mobile after 70 doesn't require a gym membership, fancy equipment, or hours of exhausting routines. In fact, it comes down to a few simple movements you can do right at home. Movements that help keep your body working the way it should. Strong, steady, and confident. Now, I'm not talking about doing push-ups or running laps around your house. What I'm talking about are real-life movements that protect your balance, strengthen your legs, loosen your joints, and help you feel capable in your everyday life. These movements aren't just about avoiding falls or keeping up with the grandkids. They're about holding on to your freedom. The freedom to walk to the kitchen without fear of stumbling, to take a stroll through the park, to pick something off the floor without wincing. And maybe most importantly, to feel like you again. So let's talk about the first movement that can make a world of difference. And trust me, this one is so simple, you might think it doesn't count. But it absolutely does. Let's start with the sit-to-stand movement. I want you to picture how often you do this in a day, getting up from the couch, from the toilet, from your bed, from the dining table. It's one of the most common motions in daily life, and also one of the first to become harder with age. But the secret, practicing it on purpose makes it easier. Here's how you do it safely. Sit on a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor and your back straight. Cross your arms over your chest or keep your hands on your thighs if you need support. Then, lean forward slightly and stand up slowly, using your legs, not momentum. Then sit back down with control. Try this 5 to 10 times a day. That's it. Why is this so powerful? Because it strengthens your thighs, your hips, and your core, all the muscles you use every time you get up. And when those muscles stay strong, you reduce your risk of falls, your knees ache less, and you start moving through your day with a little more confidence. You don't have to call it exercise if that word puts you off. Just think of it as practicing your independence. Now, while we're on the topic of staying grounded, let's talk about the second movement, heel-to-toe walking. This one is all about balance. Have you ever walked across a room and felt a little wobbly, like your feet weren't quite sure where to land? That's your balance system asking for a bit of attention. Heel-to-toe walking is an easy way to wake it up and sharpen it. Here's what you do. Stand near a wall or countertop in case you need support. Place one foot directly in front of the other, so the heel of your front foot touches the toes of your back foot. Then, take a slow step forward, keeping the same heel-to-toe pattern. Walk across the room this way, nice and slow. Focus on each step. It's not about speed, it's about control. At first, this might feel shaky. That's okay. That's exactly why it's effective. Each time you do it, you're teaching your brain and body to coordinate better, which helps prevent falls. And falls, as we know, are one of the biggest threats to independence after 70. But here's what's exciting. Just 5 minutes a day of this little exercise can make a real difference. You're rebuilding trust with your body, one step at a time. There's something incredibly empowering about that, isn't there? About knowing that even small, simple actions are helping you stay strong, steady, and independent. And the best part? You're doing it on your terms. No machines, no crowded classes. Just you and a little intention. Let me tell you a quick story. A woman named Helen, 74 years old, told me she started doing the sit-to-stand and heel-to-toe walk every morning after brushing her teeth. Just 5 minutes a day. Within a few weeks, she stopped needing to push off her knees every time she got out of a chair. And she said something that stuck with me. She said, "It's not just that I feel stronger. I feel safer in my own body." That's the kind of change we're aiming for. Not just muscles, but peace of mind. So now that we've talked about building strength and balance, there's another movement that helps unlock something just as important: mobility. You see, it's one thing to have strong legs or good balance, but if your joints are stiff, you're still going to feel stuck. That's why the next daily movement we're going to talk about is one that gently loosens the spine, opens the hips, and gets you feeling more limber as you move through your day. It's incredibly simple, but it can be a game changer, especially if you wake up with that tight, creaky feeling in your back or hips. And no, you don't have to lie on the floor or twist yourself like a pretzel. All it takes is a few slow, controlled movements in a standing position. Let's get into it. So, let's get into that third movement I mentioned, the one that helps you shake off that stiff, creaky feeling in your spine and hips. It's called gentle torso rotation, and it's a simple way to bring mobility back into your core, especially the lower back. Here's how you do it. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, and arms relaxed by your sides. Now slowly begin to rotate your torso from side to side, letting your arms swing gently with you, like soft pendulums. Don't force the motion. Just let your upper body twist naturally. Turn your head along with your shoulders and let your hips stay relaxed. Do this for about 30 seconds to a minute, just swaying back and forth. You might feel a little pop here and there, or a slight stretch through your sides and back. That's a good sign. It means your spine is waking up. This movement is like oiling the hinges of your body. When you keep your spine and hips moving like this daily, you're less likely to feel that tight, locked-up sensation when you bend down, reach behind you, or get out of bed in the morning. One gentleman named Paul told me this was his favorite part of his morning routine. He called it swaying the stiffness away. He does it while waiting for his coffee to brew. And you know what? That's a great time to do it, when you're already standing around, waiting. It's little moments like that when you can squeeze in powerful habits without changing your schedule at all. Now, once your spine and hips are feeling more mobile, the next part of your body that deserves some daily attention is your ankles. It might sound strange to focus on them, but your ankles are the unsung heroes of every step you take. When they get stiff, weak, or unresponsive, you lose stability. And when you lose stability at the ankle, it throws off your balance, your posture, and even the way your knees and hips feel. So the fourth movement I want to share is ankle circles and heel lifts. These help improve your ankle strength and flexibility, which are critical for safe walking, standing, and even going upstairs. Here's what to do. While holding onto the back of a chair or countertop for support, lift one foot just a few inches off the floor and slowly draw circles in the air with your toes. Go clockwise for about 10 seconds, then counterclockwise for another 10, then switch feet. Once you've done your circles, keep holding on and do 10 gentle heel lifts, rising up on your toes, holding for a second and lowering slowly. This strengthens the muscles around your ankles and calves. You can even do the heel lifts while brushing your teeth or waiting for water to boil. It's not about carving out extra time, it's about working these movements into your everyday life. And if you've ever had a close call with a trip or stumble, just think how much stronger your ankles could make a difference next time. I remember talking to a woman named Carol. She's 79 and spry as ever. She told me that after adding ankle work into her routine, she felt more grounded on her morning walks. Her stride got longer. Her fear of tripping on uneven sidewalks? Gone. And again, this didn't come from lifting weights or joining a gym. It came from consistent small movements that made her body more responsive and reliable. Now that we've worked our way down to the feet, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the upper body, specifically your shoulders. It's easy to forget about them, but you use your shoulders more than you realize. Reaching up to grab a mug, putting on a coat, pulling open a heavy door, all of that requires healthy shoulders. But what happens when those shoulders start to tighten up or lose strength? You begin to avoid reaching, you compensate with your neck or back, and over time, even simple tasks can become frustrating. So let's keep those shoulders moving with something I like to call wall angels. You don't need wings for this, just a wall. Stand with your back flat against it, feet about 6 inches away from the base. Try to get your head, shoulders, and lower back touching the wall. Then, slowly raise your arms up and out to the sides, bending your elbows so your hands face upward, like you're making a goalpost shape. Slide your arms up and down the wall gently, like you're making a snow angel. Now, this might feel hard at first, especially if your shoulders are tight. But that's okay. Go slow. Even a few gentle reps will help increase your range of motion and reduce that frozen feeling. And over time, you'll notice reaching into high cabinets or putting on jackets becomes smoother and less of a struggle. What's beautiful about these movements is they don't just keep your body strong, they restore your confidence. When you know you can move well, you stop hesitating. You stop worrying about, what if I fall? Or, what if I can't get back up? And instead, you start focusing on what you can do. That shift in mindset is just as important as the exercises themselves. You see, movement isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional. There's something empowering about being able to do things on your own, to carry your own groceries, to take a walk without someone hovering beside you, to live life without feeling fragile. And that's what these small, simple movements help you reclaim. Not just your strength, but your independence. And the best part? These aren't complicated routines you need to memorize or perform perfectly. They're natural motions your body already knows how to do. You're just waking them back up, giving them a little love, a little consistency, a little respect. So, whether you're doing heel-to-toe walking through the hallway, ankle circles while sitting at the kitchen table, or gentle torso twists as you look out the window, you're doing something powerful. You're investing in your freedom. You're telling your body, I'm still here. I still care. I'm not done yet. Let's keep that energy going. Let's keep that energy going and talk about one of the most underrated yet powerful movements you can do every single day, marching in place. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But don't underestimate it. This movement does more than just get your legs moving. It boosts your circulation, challenges your coordination, and wakes up your hip flexors, those muscles that help. You lift your legs and walk smoothly. Here's how you do it. Stand tall next to a counter or sturdy chair for support if you need it. Slowly begin lifting one knee up toward your chest, then lower it and switch to the other side. Take your time. This isn't about speed, it's about control. Aim for 20-30 gentle steps, swinging your arms naturally as you go, or keeping one hand on support for balance. This movement is fantastic first thing in the morning. It helps loosen your joints after sleep, gets your heart rate up gently, and brings energy into your body without overwhelming it. You might feel a little silly at first, marching in your kitchen, but the benefits are real. And if you can't lift your knees very high, that's okay. Even lifting them a few inches off the ground still counts. A man named Thomas emailed me once and said, I march in place every morning while waiting for my oatmeal to heat up. My grandkids laugh at me, but you know what? I feel sharper and stronger throughout the day, and that's worth every giggle. That's the spirit. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. And there's something else marching does. It reinforces coordination between your upper and lower body, something many people lose without realizing it. That coordination is essential for safe walking, going upstairs, or even stepping into a car. Every time you practice that motion, you're keeping your brain and body in sync. And that's a big part of staying independent. Now, let's move on to the final movement. And it's not what you might expect. It's not about your legs or your arms or even your back. It's about your hands. Yes, your hands. Specifically, the movement of gripping and releasing. You might be thinking, why would that matter for independence? But think about it. How often do you open jars, turn doorknobs, hold a toothbrush, grip a steering wheel? Your hands are involved in almost everything you do, and yet, as we age, hand strength is one of the first things to quietly fade away. It can make everyday tasks frustrating, and over time, it can lead to a reliance on others for the smallest things. But here's the good news. Just like any other muscle, your hands can stay strong with a bit of daily use. Here's a simple way to keep them in shape. Grab a soft ball, a sponge, or even a rolled-up towel. Hold it in one hand and squeeze gently. Hold for a few seconds, then release. Do this 10 times per hand. Then try spreading your fingers wide and bringing them back together. It may feel like a small movement, but it's working muscles that often get neglected. You can even do this while watching TV, reading, or talking on the phone. And here's something fascinating. Hand strength is actually linked to overall longevity and health. Studies have shown that people with stronger grip strength tend to live longer and stay more independent. So this little motion? It's not so little after all. I once spoke with a retired painter named Maria. She told me she started doing grip exercises because opening jars had become nearly impossible. Within weeks, she noticed not only could she open her own jars again, but she could also hold a paintbrush longer without fatigue. That gave her back something priceless. Not just her independence, but her passion. That's what these daily movements are really about. It's not about fitness for the sake of fitness. It's about living fully, on your own terms. Whether it's playing with your grandkids, going to the market, tending your garden, or simply walking through your home with ease. Every one of these movements is an investment in the life you want to keep living. Let's take a moment and reflect. Over the last few minutes, you've learned 7 small but powerful movements. Sit to stand for leg strength and stability. Heel to toe walking for balance. Torso rotations for spine mobility. Ankle circles and heel lifts for foot strength. Wall angels for shoulder freedom. Marching in place for coordination and energy. And hand squeezes for grip and independence. They don't require a gym, they don't require equipment, and they don't require youth. They only require something far more important: your willingness. Your willingness to show up for yourself, to care for the body that's carried you through decades of life, and to believe that it's never too late to feel strong, steady, and proud of what you can do. You don't have to do all these movements at once. You don't have to turn them into a strict routine. Just find places in your day to weave them in, while brushing your teeth, waiting for water to boil, watching your favorite show, or just as a moment of self-care before bed. Because the real magic isn't in how hard you do them, it's in how often you do them. And remember this, you are not fragile, you are adaptable, resilient, capable of more than you think. The body might change with age, but strength, stability, and independence are still within your reach. One step, one stretch, one squeeze at a time. Let's wrap this up in a way that reminds you how powerful these small decisions are. Let's wrap this up in a way that reminds you how powerful these small decisions are. Not just for your body, but for your confidence, your independence, your peace of mind. Because here's the truth that too many people forget after a certain age. You are not meant to fade away. You're meant to live, to enjoy, to feel free in your own body. And while these 7 daily movements might seem small, they hold the key to keeping that freedom alive. Not someday, not when you've built a whole new routine, but starting today with whatever you've got, wherever you are. It's easy to feel like aging means giving things up, giving up activities, giving up control, giving up your independence. But aging doesn't have to mean surrender. In fact, when you start using your body on purpose, with love and intention, you begin to reclaim things you thought were lost. Confidence in your steps, trust in your balance, strength in your hands, and pride in the fact that you're not just getting older, you're staying capable. There's something deeply meaningful about that. About knowing that your body can still respond, that it's not too late, that you're not broken or fragile or beyond repair. You're simply someone who needs the right kind of movement, done consistently, done kindly, to feel strong again. I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine waking up tomorrow, And instead of groaning with stiffness or feeling nervous about getting out of bed, you feel ready, steady. You walk to the kitchen without holding onto the wall. You lift your arms to reach something without pain. You go through your day with less effort, less hesitation, and more ease. That's what these daily movements can unlock for you. And maybe you've tried other exercises before and felt overwhelmed. Or maybe you've been told to just take it easy to avoid too much movement as you age. But the truth is, safe and simple movement is what keeps you going. Taking it easy doesn't mean stopping. It means being smart, being gentle, and listening to your body, but still moving. You don't have to do an hour a day. You don't have to sweat buckets. You don't have to be perfect. Just do what you can. Every step counts, every gentle twist, every knee lift, every squeeze. You're not just building strength, you're building habits. And habits, no matter how small, are what shape your future. If you've made it this far in the video, I want to thank you. Not just for watching, but for caring enough about yourself to learn. That's the first step toward a stronger, more independent life. And I'd love to know, how do you stay active? Have you tried any of these movements already? Is there one you're excited to try tomorrow? Leave me a comment down below and let's support each other. And hey, if this video inspired you or helped you in any way, do me a favor. Give it a thumbs up. It really helps more people like you find this kind of helpful, practical advice. And if you want more tips to stay healthy, independent, and energized well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got so much more coming your way. But before we go, I want to leave you with something personal. Aging is not a weakness. It's not something to hide from. It's a journey. And like any journey, it has its challenges, but it also has its victories. And every time you choose to move, stretch, stand, or simply breathe with intention, you're celebrating the fact that you are still here, still growing, still showing up. So here's to your strength, to your independence, to your daily movement, and most of all, to living your best life at any age. Take care of yourself, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.